This is from the Q&A from Gail Ripplinger's website. Considering the corruption in lexicons by Strong, Vine, Thayer, Gesenius, Brown, Driver, Briggs, Zodhiates, Bauer, Ardent, Gingrich, and others, what Greek and Hebrew lexicons, grammars, interlinears, or study aids do you recommend for studying the Bible? 1 Corinthians 2:13 says, "Not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual." There are no safe and reliable sources outside of the Holy Bible itself that are in print today for Bible study. I say this after spending 8 hours per day for the last 20 years researching the authors and text of these so-called study tools. Exodus 20:25, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Lexicons give secular, desacralized, subjective, and truncated definitions, but you can find the meaning of the Bible's words within the English Bible itself. Hebrew and Greek lexicons and grammars are not only unsafe, but they are unnecessary. If they were a need, God would make good lexicons available. The available lexical tools, which would be the means of reading these Greek and Hebrew texts, are all corrupt. Also, all widely available printed editions of the Greek and Hebrew texts are one-man or one-publisher editions, Scrivener, Beza, Stephanus, Letterus, and Ginsburg. Although many of these men's texts may have been consulted by the KJV translators, none can claim individually to be the precise, letter-perfect editions which the King James Bible translators referred to as the original from which they translated. If we were in need of the original, God would certainly make it available. He has not. The King James Bible provides things which these inaccessible originals, one-man editions, or man-made lexicons cannot provide to the English speaker, Bible student, and translator. 1. The King James Bible's words are translated precisely, giving attention to each individual context. A lexicon cannot do this. All versions sometimes must translate one Greek or Hebrew word in several different ways depending on the context. For the same reason, it is sometimes necessary to translate several original language words with only one English word. Such decisions are no longer open for debate. University of Manchester professor Gerald Hammond wrote, "In the King James Bible, the context defines the words and gives them their specific meaning. It constantly redefines and recontextualizes words. By ignoring this fact, modern translators frequently diminish the status of the text they translate. A modern translator perceives the word only as it appears in the lexicon. The literary loss is large." A second problem prevents Bible study and translation from being done using today's printed one-man editions of good Greek and Hebrew texts. New Testament, Scrivener, Beza, Stephanus. Old Testament, Letterus, Gesenius. If you purchase a good Greek New Testament or Hebrew Old Testament today, one of these men edited it, even if their name does not appear anywhere. This includes all online, software, hardback, interlinear, and softback editions, which call themselves the Masoretic Hebrew text or the Greek Textus Receptus. Period. Although pure in the main, these one-man editions may have very minute variances from the originals used by the King James Bible translators. The small insecurities which therefore arise about the minutiae in these good Hebrew editions make the authority of the Holy Bible, KJV, supersede these one-man printings. Therefore, the Holy Bible remains our final authority amidst a morass of private interpretation. Dr. Peter Ruckman, in his book How to Teach the Original Greek, said there are definite elements of choice, preference, and uncertainty involved in Greek scholarship which destroy it from having any claim to being the absolute and final authority. And you have to have a final authority for determining truth, because if you don't, then by implication the final authority becomes your own opinion, and you in effect become your own God. But what about those Greek nuggets, those special insights the preachers get from the Greek, which sheds light on the English? As Dr. Sam Gipp said, most nuggets that preachers find in the Greek exist only in the fantasy of their minds. Even when a Greek word has extra connotations that the English doesn't convey, the correct interpretation of the verse does not depend on those extra connotations. Dr. Ruckman has shown many examples in his commentaries and books and lectures. Dr. Ruckman has shown many examples where knowledge of Hebrew and Greek words can actually be a hindrance to understanding the Bible for an English-speaking person when they don't fully trust the English text. They often miss the forest while looking at the trees. Anyways, there are many English nuggets. Dr. Ruckman also has lots of examples of those in his commentaries. Get his Bible Believers commentary set on his website, kjv1611.org. Dr. Ruckman said in his lecture, Basic Manuscript Evidence,
truths can be found in A.V. that no Greek or Hebrew scholar can find in any Greek or Hebrew manuscript. And it isn't because I'm particularly smart or any wisdom or have any insight or anything else. It's just that I believe the text, and believing the text will yield truth that you can't get from not believing the text. People, you know what the secret is to getting truth from that Bible? A believing heart and a humble mind. It's not the Greek and the Hebrew.
What about the definitions in the back of Strong's Concordance? It seems that today Bible dictionaries are in total apostasy. God has not left us without a dictionary. I believe that the Bible has a self-contained dictionary. If someone has a King James Bible and a concordance, they have everything they need. Look up the word in question and check all of the other verses where it is used. Within the context of one of the verses listed, God will define the word. The poor people of the world throughout the history of time have not had the luxury we Americans have of so many references. Therefore, God put everything we need within one book. James Strong, author of Strong's Concordance. His corrupt Greek and Hebrew definitions pepper today's preaching. His liberal definitions are used as quick and weak patches to fill a void in sermons. The space would be better filled by a laborist looking up of all the Bible's usages of a word. Strong's liberal views got him a seat on the corrupt Revised Standard / American Standard Version Committee. Westcott and Hort sought American Bible critics to join with them on and work on their revised version. Strong was hand-selected by Philip Schaff, a New Age Parliament of World Religions participant. Philip Schaff denied the inspiration of the Bible and only chose committeemen who agreed that the Bible had never been inspired. Not only did they deny that God gave the Bible to man, but they denied that what they termed men's words were preserved. Strong was able to sympathize with the modern movement.